Allie was actually mentioned on this show last year. I believe it was during a fake news segment about the Boston nurse who left her job for OnlyFans and then started making $200,000 a month off of it. And if I remember correctly on the show, was it your coworkers that ended up shaming you and talking like behind your back and all that other bullshit? Like, who found out about it and how'd you get exposed?
Yeah, I guess like a group of I know now was like 5 nurses actually found out what I was doing. They had found me on Instagram. I think the Bruins had like reposted something of me like in a jersey, and they found out after digging that I had an OnlyFans, and they actually went to great lengths like over a series of months to keep bringing this content to my management to try to get me. Like they went out of their way. They really did. It was like Mean Girls 101. It was terrible. Because
of how much money you were making, or because they didn't want to be associated with you?
No one knew how much money I was making at that time, even though it was a lot. I was still working as full-time as a nurse. I think they just were, I look back, I don't really know what their deal was. I think they just didn't think that I should be working as a nurse and doing that on the side. Like maybe a little bit of jealousy, bitterness, probably a little bit of a religious component. One of them, his husband was a pastor, so I don't know really what the driving force behind it was, but it was aggressive.
Well, now it's like nurses are all making shitty TikTok videos.
Yeah.
And if I had to choose between one or the other, obviously I'm choosing the TikTok videos. Wait, no, sorry.
No, we're choosing OnlyFans. Yeah. So I thought, this was just in my imagination at the time, I thought your coworkers were pissed at the amount of money. Because let's face it, not every nurse looks like you. So they can't monetize shit like that. I was in the hospital for 45 days. I can tell you I didn't have a fucking nurse that looked like you. I would think the jealousy would have came from the money issue, not, hey, we're shaming you because of Jesus.
No, I was super private about it. Like I was devastated when people even knew what I was doing. Like there was a period of time where I didn't even show my face. So I never even talked about to people that I was doing this. I was graduating with my doctorate at that time. I was training all of our new nurses, highly respected, one of the more senior nurses. Like nobody would have ever thought that I'd be doing something like this. It was very out of character for me. So
yeah, and then let's get into why you actually did it. Your husband is actually here today off camera, does not want to be on camera, although he is on OnlyFans, correct?
Yes, all of our content, well, I mean, I have solo content, but most of our content and the content they love is of my husband and I, yeah.
Of the two of you guys?
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because when you look at like Pornhub or X videos and things like that, those amateur couples are the ones that are ringing up the top dollar. Right. Everybody's going back for the same people. Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed that as you guys have developed your channel and everything else, but that kind of seems like the trend.
Yeah, I think what people like about our content, from what we understand, is just the authenticity of it. It's never big production. It's never staged. It's literally came home from a bar, we're feeling good, prop a tripod in the corner, doing what we normally would do, and we just film it and then sell it. And I think people appreciate that because it is like very authentic. It's just raw material. It's not, overproduced or.
Yeah, there's like a limit to which my belief can be suspended, where it's like step grandmothers, cousins, dad are fucking. I'm like, come on, man, I can't do the math right now.
I can't either. And it's like, which bloodline is that?
Yeah.
If they get impregnated, is it going to be
and then I'm going
eyes super close together? Like, is it going to be a
or
weird
far apart? It'll be one of the two.
Right.
And then I'm on Google looking for every state's incest laws to see if what I'm watching is even legal or not. Not that it matters because it's fake, but I'm still like, I don't need to be challenged mentally when I'm trying to pound off. Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're worried that if you die, and like, let's say the FBI goes through your computer, if every porn video is, stepson fucks, step grandmother, that type of shit, where you're just like, no, you don't understand. You can't go back and try to explain it.
Yeah, it's how Woody got started. You know what I mean? Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Like he was into the stepdaughter porn and then all of a sudden had one.
And then it was just like, oh, well, shit.
Gotta do this.
Bled over into my real life.
Yeah, you don't want to be accused of, like, we talked about this before, but the shit you do fantasy-wise is nothing about your character or anything like that, right? Like, those are two very different things, but people don't really see it that way.
No, I mean, I like when my wife bashes my balls in with a ladder, and we don't talk about that.
But it's not the folding ladder; it's the telescopic ladder.
Correct.
You know what I'm talking about the one that comes out like this.
Yeah.
That way you fucking aim it. And there's the anticipation thing.
Sure.
If it's the fold-out ladder, that doesn't do anything.
And the precision of it is what I like. I like my balls just to get crushed. into oblivion, and then it's the comeback from that, you know?
Yeah, everybody's got their thing. I've heard
It's
some
that
crazy
deep breath. It's that one that really gets
I mean, it's
really
either that or skydiving, right? You got to feel like something's really at risk then to enjoy
You got to
yourself.
feel alive, brother.
Well, I have someone who likes me to blow up balloons and pop them, and they like the anticipation of the balloon about to pop. So I have to be like really slow when I blow it.
Yeah.
And then the pop is what gets them. So yeah.
Really? That's what, so they get off between the blowing and then the pop of the balloon?
Yeah, it's actually, they're also called lunars.
I'm sorry?
They're called lunars. It's like a real thing.
Why lunar?
Why? Yeah.
The balloon, lunars, you know.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Because lunar is already a word. You can see how that might be confusing to people
Are
who
we
speak English.
shorting balloons to lunars now?
I don't know. I just got me a
God.
500 pack off Amazon, and I'm like, I'm in the business now. I mean, it's
Fuck
super
yeah.
easy.
There used to be a fetish where women would pee on balloons and the noise would fucking get the dude off.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the noise of that. Well, that makes it sound
The
like you're in
dripping.
a thunderstorm.
It's
Yeah.
kinda hot.
Yeah. Where you're in a thunderstorm, maybe a barn. You had to pull over.
You
Yeah.
can fucking
Flat tire?
like no shit on your phone right now or whatever device you're listening to this on. You can find that for free. Just the noise that you can play. You don't have to have some poor lady piss on a balloon.
I
for
think
you.
I need that. I
You
think
need
if
a visual?
if it's $18 a month, let's go. Let's go for the whole thing. Now, the other part about this that I want to mention is you and your husband have been together for a very long time, correct?
20 years this year.
So with that, it's not as if he's some stranger or like the third husband down.
Yeah.
You guys have been in a 20-year relationship.
Since we were 18?
Yeah. This is a mature couple that is having sex on camera.
Yeah.
This isn't like you guys met 3 hours ago in a bar and it's just like, well, I got 3 kids. You cool with it?
No, we're just, I mean, it's us doing our thing, and our chemistry is great. We've been together since we were kids, so we don't know adult life without each other. And I think that's where this works, because for a lot of relationships, I don't think this would work. But it works for us because we've always had that trust and communication, and we're just super go with the flow, chill people. So.
And you have kids, correct?
We do. We have 3 boys.
3 boys. And how old are they?
19, 18, and 12.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, you know where the next question's coming, right? Do they
I
know?
do. It's always there.
Do they know?
The older 2 do. We actually had, when I got let go from my job, we took the older 2 to dinner, and just were kind of like, 2 fucking shots back, and we're like, fuck. And he's looking at me like, you say. I'm like, I fucking tell him, you tell him. So we kind of sat there for a moment, and then we were just like, look, we need to come clean with you guys about something, because Barstool was posting my shit, and so my kids follow Barstool, and I'm like, I don't want them to see their mom. And they had no fucking clue.
Yeah, we covered it last year, like I said. So
Everybody, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And so I was worried they were going to hear. So we actually told them, like, look, I'm on Instagram. We're kind of doing it. And then our middle son just busted out. He goes, are you guys on fucking OnlyFans? And we just looked at each other, and he's like, oh my God. He was kind of like, I can't believe this. But they know what OnlyFans is. So,
Sure.
Then it's like, it's a topic we don't talk about now. Like, they know what we do, but it's not like we're talking about it over dinner. It's just like they kind of like, that's what they do.
I would like to hear that conversation.
Yeah, I was just going to
I'd
say.
like to re-listen to it, because I remember it being like just multiple drinks back. We were very nervous about it.
Were you at an Outback Steakhouse?
Yeah.
Where were you?
Or is it
No, but
Olive
we were at
Garden?
a tavern, but it wasn't the Outback, but it wasn't,
Okay.
Yeah, it's like usually when there's a difficult subject to be broached like that, you're like, look, it's hard to explain this. I'm just going to have to show you, and you can't.
No.
In this scenario,
You cannot.
Well, you could technically.
You could.
but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. And have they seen it? Like, because there's got to be some curiosity, one would imagine, of like, well, let's see mom and dad fucking, I guess.
No, I don't think there's any I don't want to think about that. But I was very grateful that they knew what OnlyFans was, because to me it was like, imagine if they didn't know what OnlyFans was, then I gotta be like, okay, well, it's a place where your parents fuck on cam. That would have been hard.
But how
to deal
far
with.
into OnlyFans history do you go to explain what it is? Because it started out as a site for musicians to put their songs on there, right? Like, it didn't start out with these intentions.
Well, it never does it?
So this gentleman created a website where musicians could share music videos and stuff, and
His terms and conditions, though.
a couple of buttholes later, it's like,
That's where it all starts. Even LimeWire back in the day was like, it's music. And then it was like, well, there's some porn you can download. And you're like, all right, well, shit. Let's get into all of that. But yeah, fuck, man, 3 boys. I guess when you're making that much money, though, does it matter? Like, it's got to be paying for college. Are they in college?
Well, they're kind of. We're not really the type that push the 4-year college type thing, so they're kind of doing their own thing. Our oldest just graduated. He's 19, but he was an older senior, so he just graduated. He's kind of, he's working at a hotel and stuff like that, so he's doing what he's got to do. But you're right. I had 130,000. I graduated the same month I got fired. I graduated with my doctorate to go do research, in Australia. Australia got crazy, started like locking shit down at that time. So we were like, we're not fucking going to Australia. So this just propelled. But yeah, like our student loans are paid off, our debt's paid off. I mean, people want to judge, but it's like until you're in that position, like it's a shit ton of money. It's not like it was an extra $3,000 a month. You know what I mean? It's not a side gig.
You're making more than an NFL player. Like,
it's
maybe a 5th round draft pick.
5th round.
I mean, it's amazing. No, it is. Like, it's fucking incredible.
It was life changing. And I think that's the part that people don't understand. Like, it's a lot of money. And it sucks to say it's for the money. It's not really, but it's a different lifestyle. And I got time. I can do what I want, be home with my kids. And our life is great.
So what was the first video? Because, like we said at the top, you are a nurse. So you're making decent cash. What made you start it? Was it just a side hustle rather than like driving for Uber? You were like, I'll just pop up my tits on OnlyFans.
Okay, so during the pandemic, so we like to go out a lot. We love to go to breweries and stuff. Well, during the pandemic, we couldn't go out. We were living up in Boston, so shit was locked down everywhere. And so I started to do a lot of like beer reviews and stuff on my Instagram, and I love craft beer. And so it's a large male audience. And a lot of them would always say, you guys got to start an OnlyFans. You got to start an OnlyFans. I didn't know what it was. Then one day we heard about Bella Thorne making like $1 million in 6 hours. And we both looked at each other. We're like, oh, that's that fucking site. And so then we made an account. We posted a few pictures on there. And
do you remember the first picture?
I do actually. Yeah, no face was involved in the beginning.
But then how do you promote that then?
So on my Instagram, we started telling people in the DMs like, okay, I did start one. And then the chive, I put the link in my chive bio. And I'm a huge chiver. Like, I love the chive. And we logged out like 2 weeks later. We went back in. There was like $6,000 in there. We're like, oh, shit. We're like, we didn't even know. And I felt bad. I was like, shit, people have been subscribing. I haven't really been doing much with this. And so then we kind of like, okay, this is real money. Like, we should probably put some time into this. And then I think like the second month is when we started selling videos where we actually have ourselves. Because people asked, we're like, fuck it. One night we just put a camera up. And then it sold, made a shit ton of money. So we started making more after that.